All right, welcome back to another Cool Tool Show and Tell. Today, my very special guest is Deek Diedricksen. Derek is a tiny house builder, a tree house builder, an author, a designer, an artist for hire, a musician. He's got his own band called Inverter, and he's got a new book out called Micro Living. Derek, thank you for joining me. What did you bring to show us?
Nothing super fancy, but I do a lot of off-grid building, and this is battery operated. It's the fuel, brushless. Where's the logo so I can showcase it properly? Milwaukee Circular Saw. This thing is bad arse. I do a lot of treehouse building, and that really makes it problematic when I have corded tools when I'm climbing up in trees. And this thing's a combination of, it's light enough, yet powerful enough. So when I'm up, hauling this thing around or trekking it back in the woods where I'm not going to have any electricity, I bring this and a bunch of the lithium ion batteries with me, and this thing will last all day and beyond. Some of the old model saws, not to dog on any other brands, I won't even mention them, that I used to have when I was more in the amateur or starting out, broke as a joke level. Those things are cute. If you try to rip a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, you might make one cut and the battery's completely dead. But these, with the batteries they have these days and the brushless motor, this thing just hauls through plywood for rip cuts, cross cuts, whatever, which I have to make a lot of when I'm building tree houses. So, in fact, I like this saw so much that the guys that are my occasional crew that I bring on to help with tree houses, I bought them all the same darn saw. So anytime they come, it's to my advantage as well, though. It's a little selfish in that I know they're going to bring an extra saw. They have extra batteries, and when they're helping out, but they can use them at home too. It's their saw, and these things are just awesome. Like, for me, money-wise, I feel this is the best cordless saw on the market, for what I use it for my applications. So there you go.
Very cool. And now the reason this really speaks to my my present state is I recently made an upgrade from a very crappy circular saw. I won't name brands. It does begin with an R, and it was so bad that I'd almost count on it stalling anytime I was going through, even just like a thick piece of plywood, but 2x4 or anything else. It's just it was such an embarrassment. So I made an upgrade to it's a DeWalt one. It's a DeWalt cordless circular saw. I love using it every time I pick it up, and it does have that battery power to spare, especially with the extra DeWalt battery packs, just like the Milwaukee one. So it's been a real pleasure to use and really feel and the freedom. I mean, you were speaking to that before too, of not being corded. I can use it in my backyard, set up some saw tables in my backyard and put it to use, and have a lot of space and not be tethered to an outlet. It's pretty great.
Yeah, the DeWalt ones, I actually love those as well, and I have, you can't see it, it's over to the side, I have a set of DeWalt cordless tools as well. That was my first step into upgrading to cordless tools that were very powerful. So I will give those, an A, and this would be more towards the A+. Mm-hmm. And I own actually a lot of DeWalt corded tools. When it comes to corded stuff, Sawzalls, I got a DeWalt Circular Saw, a drill. I really like DeWalt as well. But anything, cordless, Milwaukee's got a whole set of outdoor work lights, because again, I'm working off grid all the time. I don't have electricity, so I can bring my lighting with me, even for workshops in the woods. They have these telescoping. Do I have it here? Here's one of them. This is like the buoy style light. This thing is awesome. It has directional lights, different powers of lighting. It's got a built-in inverter so you can plug into it.
Wow.
All these other things. This thing is just incredible, and it lasts so long, even for emergency uses. But they have a telescoping work light that's I bought 2 of them. I like the first one so much. That is one of my favorite tools as well. It's also Milwaukee.
I'll have to check it out. Now, while we're on the subject, one of the cool things I liked about my switch up to my circular saw, that I wasn't sure how much I would like it, but I really like it, is that the particular one I got, it's more like a skill saw setup where the blade is on the left side as opposed to the right side. Do you have any preference or insight onto what works best for you or for other applications in terms of...
I am such a self-taught redneck in most respects, that I will rock a right or left-hand saw either way. I've just trained myself to use them both ways, to look over the fence or keep my head to the left of it either way. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times on the job, when there's so many different tools scattered around, I will, whatever's nearby, I'll grab and use, or, hey buddy, can I borrow your saw? And if he's a lefty versus a righty and it's flipped in reverse, I've just gotten good at cutting either way. Yeah. And it really makes no difference to me. There's other people who will swear by choosing, of course, the proper tool, but for me, I just don't care.
Yeah. What is the blade size on that? Do you have a preference on what you use to be able to get through this type of lumber material that you're usually working with?
I typically use a pretty aggressive blade. Off the top of my head, I can't really recall what the tooth count is, but it's like a 7 1/4 inch is what I'm using. If I'm mowing through a lot of plywood, subfloor stuff that you're not really going to see the edge work of, I will use a very aggressive blade because it just tears through things.
Yeah.
The fine tooth stuff, I will use when I cut Tough Tex polycarbonate, which I use a ton in tree houses. They have this double walled stuff. I will take a fine tooth blade, a really fine tooth one, and cut forward or reverse the blade to cut the polycarbonate, which you also can cut with tin or aviation snips just as easy. So I will use it. Honestly, I rarely change blades. I kind of find a one size fits all and just mow through stuff until the blade's just about dead, then replace it. They're cheap enough.
Yeah, that's a great tip on the polycarbonate cutting. Cool. All right, Derek, thanks again, and I really appreciate you joining the show. And I'll have links down here in the show notes where you can find all of Derek's links online. You can check out his books, his social accounts, all of that stuff. I really recommend seeing what Derek's up to because it's always something fun.
Pleasure, man. Thank you so much.